Okay, we know the administration wants to start collections again. There had been a pause during the pandemic, et cetera. But what is involved in doing that? Is the department actually ready to make these collections given the cuts to the department? I know that AEI has done some assessments where they're saying the program's in complete disarray, is plagued by administrative failures.
So today's action to resume collections on defaulted loans was really only a matter of when, not a matter of if. They were going to have to do this eventually because the government needs to get its money back if students are not paying their loans. But as you mentioned, this is going to be an administrative challenge to actually restart collections on the loans. Most of the actual collecting at this stage will be done by the Treasury Department, so they'll be affected less by some of the cuts. But this was always going to have to happen. If students are not paying back their loans, there do need to be consequences for that. And so Linda McMahon was going to have to turn the collection system back on eventually. And it should have been done, honestly, years ago. But now is as good a time as any.
Yeah, so those of y'all who've been blaming Trump for student loans being garnished and they starting back collecting and stuff like that, it's not Trump's fault. Kamala Harris was gonna do it too. Anybody was gonna, like, y'all don't understand that the president doesn't have the type of power that y'all think they have. Yes, they do. Yes, they do have power, but Kamala Harris, anybody else, they were gonna have, y'all signed these loans. You know what I'm saying? This is a signed document from you guys. Y'all agreed to pay these student loans back. So y'all were gonna have to pay this back regardless. They just put a pause on it during the pandemic. If it wasn't no pandemic, Biden was gonna do it to y'all too. So y'all thinking that y'all voting Democrats in, thinking that they gonna stop student loans, it's not gonna happen.
Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna is among those arguing for continued forgiveness of student loans. He writes this: restarting loan payments now will cause credit scores to plummet and risk millions of Americans' ability to participate in the economy. And I want to ask you about this because there's also this plan I think that Republicans are talking about in the next budget bill, where economic hardship deferments for new borrowers after July 2025, those would end. I mean, you're talking about borrowers who could face like repayment right when the economy is hurting or if they're facing financial hardship.
It doesn't matter. They should have planned. Y'all should have been planning. Y'all really should have been paying y'all student loans when they paused the interest on it. They paused the interest on it for 4 years. And all of y'all thought Biden was gonna cancel y'all student loan payments and stuff like that, man. Stop it. Those of y'all who did get y'all student loans forgiven and stuff like that, salute to y'all. But they were never going to take away everybody's loans. Like, they were never going to do that. Democrats or Republicans, they're never going to do that. America is a business. These folks want their money. Pay what y'all owe.
Well, so Republican proposals to reform the student loan program preserve an important feature of it, which is called income driven repayment. And that means that if you have loans and your income goes up or down, say due to a recession, your payments will go up and down with your income. So you have a lower income, you get a lower payment. And the Republican plans preserve this. But they also add an extra benefit to that, which says that if you cannot make the interest payments on your loan, if you cannot fully cover the interest, they'll actually waive that unpaid interest, and they'll even credit your principal balance by a little bit to ensure that if you keep up with your payments, if you do the right thing and pay your loans, you'll see your balance go down over time and you'll pay off your loans faster.
One of the things that surprised me is the high number of people who are delinquent who are 45 and up, right? People who are in their 50s, people who are in their 60s, parents who have debt. They could be in a position, I think I see 37% of older borrowers in debt. What concern should we have about this repayment kicking in and these changes happening to these programs, honestly, to a large number of people who are at retirement age, right? Who are at the age.
They at retirement age and didn't pay what they owe. Like, why do y'all try to make it seem like somebody's doing something to them? Like, they signed the paper. They agreed to pay that money back. Y'all agreed to this. I don't have student loans, so I don't have to worry about this. But I know people who have student loans and they have to worry about it. And I tell them the same thing. Y'all agree. It's like when you go get a car or you go get a house or you go get anything. You go get any type of loan. You agreed to pay that. Title loan, house loan, whatever kind of loan, business loan, whatever. It's a loan. That money wasn't given to you. Pay what you owe.
When they might just frankly end up on social safety net programs.
Well, we certainly need to make sure that this return to repayment transition is managed appropriately for all borrowers, older and younger, to make sure that people have the
I don't have no
resources
sympathy for them.
to get back into the habit of repaying their loans. But the Republican proposal would also limit how much debt colleges can force on older borrowers. They would limit the Parent Plus program, which currently allows colleges to force effectively unlimited debts on parents and grandparents. They would cap that amount so that wealthy colleges can no longer force families to borrow, up to their eyeballs, loans that they're probably never going to be able to pay back.
Preston, I want to ask you one more thing before you go, because I think what's interesting is this reform effort is on the way. But in the meantime, there's lots of people who are locked into this debt now. Is this just a generation that is going to be lost to this debt? The idea is while you're trying to get colleges to pay more, the folks who are on the hook are just officially on the hook and that's it.
Well, the Republican plan would allow current borrowers to transition into their new repayment plan, which again, allows borrowers to pay down their debts a lot faster because it waives that unpaid interest and provides that credit towards your principal. By my calculations, the typical borrower would pay off their debt in just 11 years compared to 20 years under President Biden's plan. So I hope that if this plan were enacted, that would enable more borrowers to get out from under their debt and move on with their lives.
Preston Cooper.
Yeah, so pay what y'all owe, man. I don't give a damn how old y'all are. Young, old, finna die, whatever. Pay what you owe. You signed the paper for your student loans. You went to the school. You got the degree. You didn't got the degree. If you didn't get the degree, it's your fault you didn't get the degree. So pay what you owe, man. Simple as that. Y'all like, share, subscribe, comment on the video. Let me know how y'all feel about this topic right here, man. Don't be a lame like these folks owing student loans. Hit the link in the description. You want tattoos or piercings, you in Dallas, Texas, holla at your boy, man. You want custom rugs, if you in the city, if you anywhere in America, we'll get it to your doorstep, man. Hit the link in the description. Tap in.